we've been reporting on like the Diddy lawsuits, right, for a while in here. Back in October, we actually reported on a lawsuit that was recently amended, as in Friday was amended to add Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. And what the woman is accusing them of is raping her allegedly along with Diddy. So back in October, there was a woman named Ashley Parham, I believe that's how you say her last name, and she said that she had met one of Diddy's like colleagues in a bar. He was basically trying to flex on her, FaceTime Diddy, like, you know, to show that he knows Diddy or whatever, and she wasn't pressed. While Puff was on the phone, she says that he overheard her saying, I don't really care about him anyway, jokingly. And she said she was saying it like jokingly, but she accused him of having something to do with Tupac's murder. And she says that he visibly was upset over the phone when that happened. A month or so later, this woman, I guess she still kept in contact with the friend. She agreed to go and help this friend, Diddy's friend, administer some cancer medications that he needed help with at his home. She goes into the home. She's there. They're, you know what I mean, doing whatever it is that I guess she needed done. They take a ride and come back to the house. The door was left open. When she gets back, now Puff is there with others. Allegedly, right? Now, back in October when this was first filed, we didn't know who the other parties involved in this were. So yeah, it was John Doe. They were just listed as John Does. But now she's saying that those John Does were Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski. So now I'm bringing us up to speed on what she's alleging that Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. were a part of. So in this document, she says that Diddy was allegedly forcibly raping her to the point where he even used like a remote to do it at one point in time. And she says that when it comes to Druski, that Diddy allegedly instructed another defendant who's Doe to also rape her. And that defendant has been determined to be Druski. Instead of immediately raping the plaintiff, the woman, Ashley, is alleging that Druski doused her with more oil and lubricant and then jumped on top of the plaintiff naked with an oil body, treating it like a slip and slide and knocking the wind out of the plaintiff due to his enormous size.
Who believes this?
Jumped on her?
That's what she's alleging happened, yep. And then she's saying that Druski caught himself from sliding over the plaintiff's oil body and off the bed, and then he began raping her, allegedly raping her vaginally. Now she says that while this was happening, Puff was, somewhere off in a chair in the room watching and pleasuring himself. He was also recording as this was happening as well too. So these claims are, you know what I mean? Because she's saying that this was like a violent rape, like to the point where when she was up and trying to leave, it took her a minute to kind of get herself together. But there's a lot to this. Even in the beginning of this in October, when she first alleged it, she said that like on her way out, she went to the backyard and these people were in the backyard still. So she was trying to figure out how she was going to leave. Now that we know it was allegedly Druski and Odell Beckham Jr., she said that after they violently raped her, allegedly, they went to this backyard to smoke marijuana and cigarettes. And on her way out, she ran into them, and there was a whole exchange of like a gun went off at one point.
Is this Busby?
There was
attorney?
No, her attorney is it's not Attorney Busby. I'll get the attorney's name for you. Her attorney's name is this document.
Who really believes Druski was pretending that a young lady was a slip and slide? Come on now.
I believe he jumped on anybody and kept himself
come on now.
sliding.
It's insane, yeah. And basically, so the way that it's set up is like she's alleging that like Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. were like doing anything at the beck and call of Puff. So he was telling them what to do. They were doing it. But yesterday, Druski did respond to this. And he says, this allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse, but I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and that individuals who are maliciously trying to game the legal system will be exposed. People who are trying to game the legal system and peddle false narratives.
I wish Druski didn't even dignify that foolishness with a response. Like whoever created that story didn't even try to make it sound believable. And stories like this one just make it harder for real victims to be believed.
And then also, it's still just a stain on your name. I get why he did say something. I mean, I'm almost certain he got a publicist that probably would tell him like not to, but when something like that, it's like, yo, come on, yo. Like,
yeah, I think that was the biggest thing.
He got a lot
his
going
brand
on.
deals and stuff like that. I think
You know what I mean?
the thinking behind releasing the statement was like it's moving already, and if you don't say anything, it grows bigger. But
right.
I mean,
well, when you say something, it grows bigger. When Druski actually says something, that's when it becomes a real story.
I think for me, when I saw it, I thought it was fake. Like I went.
It's still a lawsuit
because it is fake.
But
no.
It's a lawsuit.
I mean, like I didn't think that it was an actual lawsuit that was filed. I thought someone created paperwork, because it was only circulated on Twitter. There were no outlets that had picked it up. So I'm like, this paperwork has to be fake. Like someone had to have made this up. Then I went on the online system where you could pull the filings, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is real. Because it just seemed the claims were like so outlandish, and then I also was able to speak to some attorneys and things, and I'm like, okay, no, this is real.
Yeah,
like,
I get why he said something. I mean, yeah, maybe he shouldn't, but I get exactly why he said something.
But the reason why he probably said it because he was like 2018. I'm in my mom's house. I knew nobody, so it's like I wasn't even famous at this time. So of course this is frivolous, but he still is gonna have to get an attorney and pay for it, which is gonna cost him a couple $100,000, which sucks.
Yeah.
Now because he got to spend money for a lawyer just to prove his innocence because somebody's looking for a quick payday. And I promise you, if people realized how often these civil cases go nowhere, they would stop doing this, because folks do these cases thinking they're gonna get paid, and they rarely do. If more people knew that they wouldn't get no money from this, they'd stop wasting folks' time by filing this foolishness.
No, they wouldn't.
Crazy.
No,
if
they
I was
wouldn't.
the lawyer and she said Druski, I'd have been like, yo, you serious?
Nah.
Like, you really expect me to like fight this for you? And Druski?
The attorney, I know you asked me that, Envy. The attorney, her name is, I believe I'm saying it correctly, Ariel Mitchell. Yeah, and she's an attorney. I've heard of her before in like some of the cases that she's worked on before. So she's not new. She's you know what I mean. Like she's not new or whatever. But no, it's not Attorney Busby. So I don't know if that changes anything. But
no, I'm just curious. Now, Charlamagne, what you said is not true. The reason it's not true is because people don't have to pay for an attorney, right? A lot of these attorneys are doing it for free, or they'll get a third or whatever they'll get a percentage of whatever they win, and because of that, people won't file a lawsuit. Now, if people actually had to pay an attorney to file a lawsuit,
that's not what I said. What I said was, if people realized how often these civil cases go nowhere and they don't get paid, they don't win these cases. They file these suits. They file these suits with these frivolous claims and they go nowhere. If people, two things: if they didn't have to remain anonymous, if they had to actually put themselves out there and say, "Hey, my name is such and such," and they realized they wasn't going to get no money from these cases, they wouldn't file them. They wouldn't waste their time.
She's out there, and she's been out there since she first filed. And I will say, Ariel Mitchell, we will remember her because Diddy's team, when they filed the $50 million defamation lawsuit, it was against Courtney Burgess, who was a music manager, and then the attorney, Ariel Mitchell, who's also filing this. So she's kind of been...
Oh, that's the victim's name? What's the alleged victim's name?
In this case is Ashley Parham, but I was talking about the attorney because she's been involved in a few other cases that I am familiar with, so I was just letting Envy know who that was.
But people are only doing this stuff because they think they're gonna get some
payday.
money.
Yeah, of course.
If they knew they weren't gonna get no money, if they knew how slim the chances were of them getting paid, they wouldn't file these cases.
I still don't think they would care because it's costing them nothing. Like it really costs them nothing. They can go to an attorney and attorney is doing all the work for free, pretty much. But if they actually had to pay an attorney and money had to come out their pocket, then they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Then they wouldn't do it. But if attorneys are willing to do it for free, it'll continue on and on and on and on.
Well, I will say, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charlotte.
No, I was going to say they really need to change the laws in this country, too, because you should not be able to make those kind of claims just because you feel like it. In fact, claims like that should only be allowed to be made criminally. And after someone makes the claims criminally, police should have to investigate the claims before they decide it's enough to file charges and arrest someone. But these wild, salacious claims in civil suits, they should be illegal, man.
Odell Beckham Jr. did respond to Druski's tweet, so I wanted to make sure that we got this in. And Druski's tweet that I'm referring to is the statement from Druski that we read in the last hour. And Odell said, he's talking to Druski, he said, "Boy, I'll tell you what, this world makes absolutely no sense. I am covered by God. He will prevail. I know who I am. I know who you are." Talking to Druski. "Keep your head. That name will be cleared." And then he called the whole thing stupid. So I did want to make sure that we mentioned that because I said that he hadn't directly responded. And that was an update on that thing that
Random
he posted.
Observation, though. Look really good, Lauren.
Thank you, Jess.
Like crazy.
I appreciate
I like
that.
your hair, makeup, look cool. Look good. That's random observation.
Thank you.
Go
That's
back
some
to the story if you
positivity
want.
and all
You know what I'm
this
saying?
mess. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that real
I
quick.
appreciate that. You know, we work hard to look good.
You sick, Jess? Yeah.
No, my voice is almost gone.
Why
yo.
you
I
asking
just
that?
had-
Because she's
had
nice?
4
No,
shows.
no.
Because I told her she
Sometimes
was
you're a little blind. When you get sick, you can't see things.
yo.
All right.
Damn.
And that is
Damn.
the latest
okay,
with
Amy,
Lauren.
don't worry, I got
That's
you.
wild.
Damn.
And when I set up that ride along, they riding right to your house.
See?
Keep playing with me.
I've been told you what to do, Lauren.
Yeah.
Send Ice right over there.
Don't worry, you know I'm gonna call the people.
Hey, yo.
I'm gonna call them.
All right. When we come back, we got front page news. So don't go anywhere. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.